The next-gen consoles and AMD GPUs are about to get some deep learning super sampling. And by deep learning super sampling, it's not going to be called that because they're AMD. That's an NVIDIA trademark. It's going to be called Fidelity effects. I almost couldn't say it. How does it make you feel? But they're still going to go deep and learn super sampling with fidelity effects. I can't say that word. Let's get into it. Skip it up and that up. So one piece of tech that NVIDIA has with their RTX graphics cards is called deep learning super sampling, where they could take an image that's a lower resolution and reconstruct it to a higher resolution to the point that it actually seems like it's being rendered natively at that resolution, like taking 1080p and outputting it 4K. And like I said, it's not just upscaling. They use artificial intelligence to reconstruct the image. And now with DLSS 2.0, sometimes the image actually looks better. Like say you have a DLSS upscaled image to 4K, and then you show the game being rendered natively at 4K side by side. The DLSS 4K image that's actually just being upscaled looks better now in some cases. It's really strange, but it's really cool tech, and it takes a lot of the stress off of the GPU. Well, guess what? AMD has their own version of it. Of course, they have to remain competitive. That is called Fidelity effects, which is similar tech. And the good news about this is, especially in my opinion for the Series S, is that it's going to help give the consoles a lot more breathing room and headroom. So when games get more advanced as this generation gets along, they could rely on fidelity effects, again, AMD's version of deep learning super sampling, to allow the GPUs to not be stressed as much, so we get better quality visuals, and the consoles, in my opinion, could possibly last longer. Well, anyway, this news about Fidelity FX coming to next-gen consoles, along with the new AMD Radeon GPUs, comes from Linus Tech Tips, and I'm quoting from altcar.com or altcar or altchar.com. I'll read it to you, and then we will discuss. Apparently, rather than rushing it, Fidelity FX Super Resolution out the door on only one new top-end card, they want it to be cross-platform in every sense of the word. They actually want it to be running on all their GPUs, including the ones inside consoles, before they pull the trigger. Which, this is really interesting, because that means that the Series S is going to get Fidelity FX, the Series X, the PlayStation 5. I'm actually really interested to see what this could do for the Series S. Could it breathe more life into the console, or new life into the console, where we could see games actually running at 4K on the Series S, even with its limited 4 teraflop or 3.9 teraflop GPU? Granted, it's still a really cool little piece of machine, the Series S. It actually has built-in ray tracing acceleration hardware, and you get a hell of a lot of console for the money, but I've always said, and still hold to this, soon as I heard things like when they wanted to run Gears of War 5 multiplayer mode at 120 FPS on the Series S, and they had to have the dynamic resolution sometimes drop down all the way to 720p, which is not even full HD, it's just considered HD, I'm like, and that's on an 8th generation game that they're just bringing over to 9th gen consoles and polishing up. What about when next-gen games really start pushing the hardware? What the hell is the Series S going to do? So maybe Fidelity FX could be what comes to the rescue and makes the Series S have a much longer shelf life. So I really feel that this tech, Fidelity FX, could really benefit the limited hardware of the Series S. And this may be the answer as to what makes the shelf life of Microsoft's budget entry-level console last much longer. So maybe it won't age like hot milk left out in the sun on a 90-degree Fahrenheit day, which is very hot for people who are from different parts of the world. So we'll have to wait and see. But Fidelity FX could be a big deal. And like Linus said in his video, I watched the full video before I made this one, it's probably smart that AMD is waiting to release Fidelity FX, because DLSS 1.0 was crap, and a lot of people were turned off to the technology, thought it was a gimmick and it wasn't going to do anything. Then DLSS 2.0 came out, and like I said, some images that are reconstructed from a lower resolution like 1080p to 4K actually end up looking better than games running in native 4K, and that is huge. And if that could work on the next-gen consoles or now current-gen consoles, that's a huge, big deal, and it could make the shelf life of all the consoles be much longer, and we could get much better looking games if Fidelity FX is implemented properly. Anyway, guys, make sure to subscribe to Review Tech USA. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to make sure you are aware and notified of all of my new uploads, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a good one. Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.